What's up, YouTube? I'm back. It's your boy RushMoreRick. I know it's been a while. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we'll go over my hiatus. Maybe we won't. But today, let's tap in. We got Gen Z's work crisis is out of control by I'm urgency. Let's tap in. Let's see what we got.
You could be like, Gen Z doesn't work hard, blah, blah, blah. But every single Gen Z person that I know has a full-time job, has a part-time job, has a TikTok that they're trying to make pop off. Every Gen Z person I know has like one full-time job and then like 6 half jobs. So you can't say that we're not working hard.
And that's one thing I heard about older generations that talk, because I was born in 2000, so I think technically I'm like in the beginning stages of Gen Z, or the later stages, whatever that is. My alarm, my bad. Anyways, a lot of the older generation seems to have this cognition about our generation, that we're the generation that is lazy, doesn't like to work, doesn't like to do this, that. They're not seeing the bigger picture, gang. Our generation is the generation that's realizing that all of this hard work is ultimately not going to amount to anything for I want to say a great percentage of us. Now, me, I'm an optimistic person. I like to think that there's gold at the end of the rainbow. I was taught in high school, middle school, elementary school, I'm pretty sure everybody was in whatever schooling that they were in, that you put in the work, is going to pay off. You go to college, you get a degree, you make 6 figures. That's what they say. That's what they told us. It's turning out that this world that we were sold is not the truth. It's just not. It's not possible. So that's why so many people who are Gen Z are doing so much. You got to have either you got fucking 3 part-time jobs, you got a full-time and a part-time. You're trying to, you know what I'm saying, grow a social media. It's trying to make money online. You got niggas playing phone games to get paid. Some just like people right now are struggling so much just to bring in the dollar. And it's just like, I don't think it's fair for older generations to label us the problem. Gang, y'all set the market. Y'all set the rules that we just gotta play by until some shit change. Like, I don't get it.
Because it's like, you don't see it because what you see is the 1 40-hour job, but you don't see all of the side hustles that every Gen Z person has to do in order to get a fraction of what you had.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Emergency and welcome back to my channel. Today we are back and we're talking about something kind of serious and also kind of sinister. Yes, something sinister is definitely in the air right now. And while yes, it can definitely be a multitude of things in this landscape of the political and economic state of the world right now.
I look and I go around sometimes and I hang out with other people that are my age and they're just kind of just selfie. I'm just like, dude, like, oh my God, like, can we talk about like the political and economic state of the world right now?
What I'm specifically referring to is the sudden shift of how the good old 9 to 5 that Dolly Parton was singing on about, you know, the 40-hour-a-week full-time employment with benefits, is increasingly becoming a 9 to 6 or 8 to 5 or more.
If I'm being honest, gang, this shit, like, it's not even 9 to 5 anymore, because the 9 to 5 originally indicated that from fucking 6 to 8 you had time to do whatever. Gang, no, these jobs that we have to work now, shit is not a 9 to 5. It's 9 to 5, 9 to 6, 9 till overtime, 9 till work gets completed, and then after that you gotta spend the time that you have to fucking recoup. You gotta recharge that battery that you spent all day draining. Like, this shit is just like not even. It's not a 9 to 5. It's more like a 9 to 9. Nigga, Drake said that shit in the song. Like,
when did we normalize the 9 to 6 work week? And who is to blame for that? Because growing up, it was 9 to 5. Now all of a sudden I'm an adult and it's 9 to 6.
This idea initially came to mind because a lot of my friends, both in the entertainment industry and in other industries, whether full-time or freelance, have begun to notice that they are no longer working the typical 9 to 5, especially at entry level with demanding hours, late nights, or extremely early emails or call times. And that got me wondering, is the 50-hour work week or 60, 70, or even 80-hour work week becoming the new normal? And to find this out, I decided to do a little something different, be on my little Nancy Drew, and turn the mic over to you. That's right, we're gonna be hearing from you all, ranging from various industries, to get to the bottom of this. So to start this conversation off, let's begin with the state of work for everyone.
The state of work for everyone.
And I think this period of time is especially interesting because whether you have a job or not right now, I think it's clear to see that the state of the workforce is currently bad and is only getting worser. And this isn't just for Gen Z either. People across the board, across generations, are working longer hours, and it's being felt at all levels. According to an article from
Yeah, and I do agree with that. I don't think that's just a Gen Z thing. Yeah, we touched on it earlier how older generations view Gen Z as workers, but the current state of the workforce, gang, if you're even lucky enough to find a job, because it's so hard to get a new job. Like, I remember there was a point in time prior to the pandemic where you could start a job this week, quit it, and have an interview lined up by next week. Like, jobs was just, now it's not like that. It's not, like, if you have a job right now, gang, you cannot leave your job unless you know. I wouldn't even leave my job knowing that I had an interview, because interviews don't even guarantee. Today's interviews is these niggas just want to know your information. They want to know where you live at. They want to know your social security. They want to know everything about you other than, do you actually want to work? And if you actually want to work, you just got to hope that they want to hire you. But it's like weird because everybody is struggling with finding a job, maintaining a job, keeping a job, trying to replace the current job that they have, trying to get multiple jobs just so that they can survive, so they can pay bills. It's crazy.
From CFO.com, the average work week now weighs in at 46.6 hours,
Damn.
according to a new survey of more than 10,000 Microsoft Office users by Reclaim AI, a Dropbox-owned provider of workforce productivity tools. And that same article goes on to note that just 3 years ago, that number was at 45.8 hours, notably above the 40-hour week moniker, which just goes to show that while these numbers may not seem like a far departure from the average 40 hours a week, things are quickly increasing.
Well, I guess because the school year hasn't started quite yet, this year, maybe there isn't like a estimate, but like for past years, like, is it generally like the 40? You go above, below?
I'll reference like from work that I recently did like last year. It's 40, but it usually goes above. I try to get out on time, but I have a big list of stuff to do. Like at my program, we have a list of things for opening and closing. And opening, I can get most of it done, but closing, if a kid has a day and they decide to dump a specific bucket of art supplies everywhere, who has to clean that up? Me. Because
I was about to say, yeah, teachers, this wouldn't be a fair thing to judge the typical standard 40 hour work week or fucking 9 to 5 work day, because I feel like teachers start early and like their day is so sporadic, anything can happen that results to them to stay. And obviously it varies on the grade that you teach, because like high school, you could be stuck grading papers at the end of school. You could have to do some tutoring. You could have to do some after school programs, activities, however your teacher day goes. But yeah, with teachers, that's automatically tough. That's automatically tough. You should
not
know
always that kid will pick it up, which is understandable. But that takes extra time if my lead teacher has like tasks for me to do and I have to put them throughout the week. We have half days on Wednesday, so I try to get those tasks done, but that doesn't always work out.
Only 30.9% of employees reported working 40 hours or fewer per week, and more than 1 in 10 said they worked more than 60 weekly hours. And these aren't just random stats I'm pulling out of nowhere. From chats with friends, interviews with y'all, we're seeing that the 40-hour work week is now becoming the minimum. Meaning on paper, you may be working 40 hours a week, but oftentimes to follow expectations and to remain in good standing at your place of work, people seem to be working or at least are staying in office longer. And okay, sorry, I have to do my once in every other video mention of the pandemic here because shockingly, it has impacted more than we initially thought and reshaped the trajectory of all of our lives. But one thing that I heard that really resonated with a lot of people was that lockdown really showed them that their jobs could be done hybrid or completely remote. No longer having to factor in commute times, no need to twiddle your thumbs in office every day until 5. You can get your work done, then continue drinking your doggone latte, learning your super lonely dance, or...
Yeah, I think the pandemic was, in hindsight, the greatest thing and the worst thing to ever happen to humanity combined, if that makes sense. Let me elaborate. I say greatest in a sense because people realized that, gang, when the world was shut down, people were still able to find ways to work from home. So that goes to show you that the daily commute to the office wasn't always necessary. It's necessary for some people, but it wasn't always necessary. It's not a mandatory thing. If you can sit behind your fucking cubicle out in the world, you can get some shit done at home in the comfort of your home. You can do that. But at the same time, it's one of the worst things because it set us back, like, I feel like so much. It made us so dependent on technology. It made us so enclosed. It made us so private. It made us so, you know what I'm saying, so just singular track minded, where we're only focused on ourselves. And when ourselves aren't right, we're not worried about other people. We're not worried about the world. And it just, I feel like it exposed everything wrong with the world, specifically the workforce. Like, that shit was terrible. It was bad.
Your Chloe Ting ab workout. What a time, I know. But all this to say is that people really started to see their work as just that, work, not their entire lives. And also learned that a lot of the work that they did have to do was busy work, just to keep them in office for 8 hours a day. And I think we saw in 2021 and 2022, those things still sort of linger around in the workspace. But then very quickly it was all snatched back with expeditious returns to in-person, in-office work. And I don't want to say this is all done for nefarious reasons because, you know, things like team building, collaboration, blase, whatever you want to call it, are real things and are allegedly easier to do in person than online. But I think a large reason why many people find this push to go back in office really unnecessary is, for one, we just all saw how it could work without it. And two, because work from home allows people to not have to worry about those commute times and also don't have to worry about staying in the office just for the sake of looking busy. If your productivity levels remain the same or at least similar, why would you want to be in the office from the proposed 9 to 5? And fast forward to now where the 9 to 6 or 8 to 5 are being more normalized, I think we've begun to overcorrect just a little bit. Another thing that I've started to see people point out is that the 9 to 6 or 8 to 5 work hours being normalized is due to lunch no longer being built in because it's not paid. So yes, you do work for 8 hours, but you're also technically at work for longer, unless you're lucky enough to live a walkable distance from your job. But this can also be a falsity as well. Most workplaces don't have the strictest sense of boundaries when it comes to work expectations. And depending on your work culture, a lot of these lunches can and will be allocated as working lunches. And another thing, and almost the bigger thing out of all,
I ain't gonna lie, I've never been in a corporate job. I've never had one, never wanted one, never had a aspiration or a goal to work a corporate job where you get something called a working lunch. Gang, you already, we're here from 9 to 5. Like he said, we're here longer than that. Like off the record, not on paper. You know what I'm saying? According to ADP and your pay stubs and your time slot, whatever. But we're here all fucking day. The only time that a job gives to you for you to like breathe during the day is your lunch. So to hear that there are companies that are giving people or giving their employees what they call working lunches, that's terrible. You have all day to get your task done. And gang, you want me to use my free time, my personal time, my Chipotle time, my McDonald's time, my Burger King time, my home cooked meal time, my time to recharge the minimal battery that I have left going into the second half of the fucking workday to do more work? Are you crazy? Are you insane? And this is what I'm saying about like the pandemic and the global shutdown. It really exposed everything wrong with the older generation's idea of what work is, because they're the ones who set the precedent. Like, this shit has to change, because it's no way that you can just, I'm gonna let them continue, but it's just no way that we could continue going on like this when gang, you're taking everything from a person. Like, people, like employees are literally just numbers on a paper. They want constant productivity. Any time that you have in your job, if they can take that and get you to do some type of minimal work while you're having your lunch, whether it's paid or like, Any chance that they could get you to do some extra work, they're going to do that to you. And it's like, how is that fair on a person who's just trying to work a job because they have to, not because they want to? Nobody pops out the wound and say, oh, I want to be a fucking accounting clerk when I turn 18. No, nobody says this. I want to be such and such when I'm 18. So, all right, I ain't gonna say nobody, because there's people who oddly enough want a fucking job title in this world. If they believe that's their purpose and that's the reason that they were born, sure, by all means. But the idea of living should not pertain to, I gotta have this career so I can get paid X amount of dollars so I can live, exist. This shit is not living. It's not.
This to add to the disillusionment of people is that regardless of how many hours a week you're working, it still seemingly is not enough to be able to afford the basic things, or really anything in today's society. It's no secret that the cost of living has skyrocketed over the past few years, with a little coffee or pastry running you at least a good $15. But I mean, you might as well get yourself a little sweet treat, because it's not like the thought of buying or owning a house with the money you're making is seemingly a reality.
Yeah, that's not even
just a few years ago, and I'm using just a few years ago very loosely, a pretty normal job was enough to buy you a house and support a whole family, which now seems crazy. And all of this combined really does start to weigh on people's mental health, and mental health is something that is really important to take care of, especially in these times. Because in today's age, if we don't take care of our mental health, we can start going down some very dangerous rabbit holes. And speaking of rabbit holes, we've all gone down a good internet rabbit hole, right? Like looking up your health symptoms.
I see.
Are usually completely wrong. Real OCD attacks whatever matters most to you with intrusive thoughts.
So we still didn't get it right.
The world's leading OCD.
We still didn't get it right.
Team sponsoring the general are bad and aren't getting any better, because this comes as last month's job report has announced that jobs have not only slowed down, but unemployment has began to rose. Now let's talk about the state of work specifically for Gen Z.
I'm sorry, what the do you mean? The fact that I got off work at 5 o'clock, takes an hour for me to get home. I had an hour-long commute today. It's 6 o'clock, and in order to meet my 6 a.m. wake-up call, I gotta go to bed in 4 hours. Oh my God! Having 3 to 4 hours to spend on yourself, cleaning, cooking, prepping, the gym.
And I was just about to pause it and get into it, because I told you, this shit is just energy sucking. It's energy sucking. It's energy sucking. They have all your time. You got to think about it. When you're at your job, they have all your time. And then when you go home, they're in your mind, because you're mentally thinking about, oh, I got to do this shit again tomorrow. So how can I prepare myself on my time off to get ready to give myself them some more time? I don't know if I said that right, so let me repeat it. I'm here all fucking day. And then when I get off, I got to go home and think about how I can prepare myself to get myself ready to give them more time tomorrow. That's like, gang, that's not, I don't understand it. I don't get it.
A Pilates class, maybe go painting a little bit, a hobby. It's my first day, like officially in office in corporate America, and I'm already like, oh my God. Sincerely, a girl who's been in the service industry and waited tables for the past 5 years. Oh my God, what do you mean?
And as this TikTok is saying, this is only 4 hours for yourself. Now imagine that if you have children. Right. So I don't want to hear any of y'all question the birth rate decline. But yeah, put simply, the job market sucks right now. And we've made a couple of videos on this channel talking about the subject, such as the Gen Z stare video or the Gen Z recession video. But I fear this is not something that's going away anytime soon, and is arguably only getting worse. Talking to other Gen Zers, it seems that there are 3 general categories here. 1, people that are straight up unemployed, likely frantically applying for jobs and have a extensive Excel sheet going of all the places they're applying. 2, fully employed but miserable, or at least looking to improve their working conditions for their next position or their current position, but generally feeling this sense of guilt for even talking about it, because, you know, the job market is so tough right now. Lucky to have a job, so why complain about it? Or 3, the gig/part-time worker, who generally has the most insane and inconsistent schedule.
2025 Gen Zs are the new 2008 millennials, and if you don't believe me, I have the stats to prove it. According to Business Insider, entry-level postings are down 15%, while applications per job are up 30%. The bottom rung of the career ladder has completely been wiped out. And why? It's because AI is taking all these jobs. According to Goldman Sachs, generative AI could automate up to 25% of all work globally, wiping out many junior roles that grad used to train in. Even if you land a job, you're probably underemployed, because according to St. Louis Fed, 52% of all Gen Z graduates are underemployed in their first job, meaning more than half of them are working jobs that don't even require their degree.
And that's one of the main things about society that fucked us right there, because you grow up and then like everybody is taught to prioritize higher education, prioritize college. Not even necessarily just college, but I think it's college or getting a trade, which I think getting a trade is one of the better things you can do, because AI can't fucking fix a toilet. The world needs plumbers. AIs can't fix heating and AC, y'all know what I mean, HVAC shit. AIs can't do that. AI can't build houses, not yet anyway. So like these are things that I feel as though should have been more prioritized, at least where I went to school, because trades weren't even really a thing that was discussed. My high school, we didn't even have classes to work on trades, but we had fucking early entry college program to try to get us college credits before we even go off. And gang, these niggas are going to college, they're graduating college. When they leave college, they can't even get a job in their field that they went to college for, that they have a degree for. They can't even get their foot in the door. You want to know why? Because these companies want experience. You're not going to hire a fresh college grad because they don't have the experience. But how do you expect them to get the experience if you don't fucking give them a chance? This is you see the conundrum that we're in. We're taught and we're raised to go seek better. Always be better than the generation before you. Always strive for more. But gang, a lot of people that got college degrees are first generation college students. And how do we thank them for doing better for themselves? By not letting them land a job, by saying, all right, okay, congratulations on spending 4 years and thousands of dollars on trying to get a college degree. We'll maybe consider you if you go back to school and go get your master's. Fuck out of here. But yeah, that's the gist of the video. I don't want to. It's already long enough, 22 minutes. I don't want to, know what I'm saying, talk y'all ears off. If you want to finish with Gen Z's work crisis is out of control, I'm your urgency. It's your boy RushMoreRick. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, and we're out of here. Peace.